What it really do, gang? Welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm hoping that you're having a great day. Shit. Now with that being said, I know you see it, bro. My face is busted. I went to locals. I was playing against an emancipated player. I was whooping that ass thoroughly. They got upset and started throwing rock monsters at my face, bro. That's what happened. I don't know what to tell you. Alright, now listen, bro. I was at the park. I was really dehydrated. It was really hot out there. I basically fainted and I fell face first on the rock, so that's why my face is busted. It's gonna take about a week to heal, so if this bothers anybody, see my face like this in the video, just let me know. I can make videos without my face in them. It's just gonna take about a week to heal. So with that being said, I have LA Ladies over here, aka Labrynth, aka IKEA furniture version. Now I'm gonna tell you why I play certain cards in this deck, why I play the numbers and everything. Even the Lord of Heavenly Prison, I'm gonna tell you why I play that and all the extra shenanigans. Now this version of the deck does not do extremely well going second. I mostly rely on max C, or if we have this thing and I can mess with my opponent on the first turn. That's what I mainly rely on. But I'm gonna tell you what cards you could take out and put evenly matching here if you like. I just really have fun playing it this way. So with that being said, enough talking. I got some saucy replays for you guys. One of them is a mirror match in 9 turns. Let's get into them. Alright, gang, here we are for the numero uno replay of the day. Now I am gonna maybe go a little slow because I don't have my glasses, and I think I left them at the hospital, so I can't really see all that well, but I think it'll be fine. Also, I decided to go with this replay because this replay shows a lot of the cool things that you can do with this deck. Legitimately, I think I did almost everything you can do with this deck in this duel. So here we're going to start off by activating our Pot of Extravagance because we are extravagant, right? Banish 6 so I could draw 2. I drew into my Ariana, so I'm gonna normal summon her, activate her effect, right? I'm gonna get myself a Ku Klux. I'm gonna set down the three traps, right? We have a Welcome Labrynth, a Eradicator, and a Big Welcome, right? So I'm gonna activate my Ku Klux because I wanna give my opponent a big welcoming by special summon my lovely Labrynth onto the field. That's gonna allow me to send my Ariana back to the hand, which is gonna trigger this thing's effect to pop a card in the hand. Welcome, sir. Get it out of here. So we popped a Traptrix Mantis, and this is when I knew we were playing against Traptrix, right? So I'm like, okay, bet. Activate this thing's second effect and bring the big welcome back onto the field. Activate the Labrynth Chandelier. That way I can set down my field spell. That's gonna trigger my Ku Klux to come back to the hand as well, because I did get rid of a card to set down a spell or trap, which is crazy. And then I'm gonna activate this thing's effect. The fact that you could activate this thing, pop a card, and then recycle the card that you use to special summon this thing is crazy. Let's get into it. So here I'm gonna activate the Max C. They're gonna Ash Blossom that thing. It is a draw phase. I basically do it now so that way I don't have to worry about triple tactics talent. And then I'm gonna activate my Eradicator, getting rid of my lovely Labrynth. That way I can basically destroy all the traps that they have in the hand and the ones that they're gonna get in between the turns, right? So show me your deck, sir. Pop that thing. And then on top of that, bro, when the thing gets negated, right? Because I did use a non-Labrynth card, that is not a Labrynth card, to, bro, I get to bring the lovely Labrynth back onto the field. Oh my goodness. What are we doing? So then I activate the Big Welcome because again I'm trying to welcome my opponent. That thing is gonna allow me to bring this thing back into my hand, which triggers this thing effect again. So let me pop a card in your hand one more time, sir. That's going to also trigger the Chandelier. And because I did activate a trap, I get to special summon this thing, which is unaffected because I have a set down trap. Oh my goodness. This deck is stupid. Set that thing down. Bring this thing back to my hand, which I still have the quick effect to set down a trap, and then pop a card in their hand, bro. Oh my goodness. They hadn't even started their main phase. They haven't even started their main phase yet, bro. That was all in the draw phase, which is crazy. So the card that we popped was a Trapalizing Toon. They're not hearing no tunes over here. They're gonna activate the Purika, right? They're gonna get themselves a Traptrix Guarding. The grass is not green on this side of the field, bro. It's gray. So then I'm gonna use this to link off into the Distractive Sarah, and this is when I'm gonna activate my Welcome Labrynth, which is going to trigger my my Lady Labrynth as well, so I can set down a trap. I'm gonna set the Ice Barrier, right? And then I'm gonna special summon this thing. Now here you saw me target this thing, right, to pop it. Now this thing is unaffected. It says it right here, right? If a number no. Where's it at? This Link Summon card is unaffected by trap effects, right? Now, I use this thing's effect to pop it, but this thing's effect is basically an extension of your trap. So this thing effect to pop a card on the field is actually a trap effect, so that thing is unaffected by it, which is crazy. Yu-Gi-Oh cards are ridiculous, bro. So I'm gonna activate my Ariana. Ariana is going to allow me to draw, search out a card. So I search out my Torby, right? They're gonna special summon the other, the Traptrix Mermelo. So I'm like, okay, bet I'm gonna activate my Kuklos because I have this card in the hand and this card in the hand, which basically have the same effect, so it doesn't really matter which one I use. So I activate that thing's effect so I can set down another trap, right? Setting down a big welcome. Then the Kuklos is gonna allow me to activate a card. That thing gets popped by this thing's effect, right? I'm like, okay, bet. They're gonna activate this thing's effect. I'm gonna activate the Kuklos to bring it back into the hand. And since I did activate that thing effect, now I can activate this trap, right? Which I do. So here I'm gonna target their Traptrix Mantis. Bring it onto my side of the field. It's mine, but I don't want to get rid of both of them things. Bring this thing back to my hand, right? This thing is gonna get to search out a trap. They search out a Traptrix Holetua, whatever that thing is. I'm gonna activate my Labrynth Torby 2 to bring it back onto the field because we did get rid of a card. They're gonna activate the Traptrix Garden, getting rid of their Traptrix Sarah. That's gonna allow them to bring out the Purika. With the Purika, they're gonna banish my lovely Labrynth, right? And then they're gonna use this thing to link off again into the Traptrix Sarah. And here they scoop because essentially they already activated that thing's effect. That trap in the back row doesn't really do anything, and then any other trap that they draw is gonna get destroyed. And then I have my full field right here, like legitimately. It was I was waiting, I was intrigued. I was like, what else can you do, sir? Because after linking off into that thing, I don't think there's anything else they could have done. So again, I wanted to show you this replay because it was crazy. It showed a lot of the deck and a lot of the things that you could do. So now let's get into the next replay. Alright, gang, here we are for the numero 2 replay of the today. And this one was against Steel Limits. After this one, I'm gonna show you the 9-turn mirror match. But I wanted to show you this one first, because this one was a little crazy. There was a lot of back and forth going on in this one. So here I'm gonna activate my Labrynth to get my field spell. Then I'm gonna activate my Ariana by normal summoning it. They're gonna Ash Blossom that thing because they did spring on their side of the field. They didn't want to see it, bro. So here I'm gonna set down my 2 traps and then my turn. That's all I have. I don't have anything else. So here they're gonna start off by activating the King of the Swamp, right? They're gonna get themselves a polymerization. Then they're gonna normal summon the Merly, activate that thing's effect. They milled 3 cards, bro, and look at the 3 cards that they milled. They milled a Scream, a freaking Kelbeck, and a Crimey, or Crime, whatever. And I'm like, okay, bet. This is amazing. So now they get to mill a bunch of cards, get them in there. And they mill a Nagito if you didn't see it, right? They're gonna get a Sulky onto the hand. Then they're gonna activate the Rhino Heart, activating the Heartbeat as well. I believe the Heartbeat is gonna let them bring the Crimey back onto the hand, right? Then they're gonna activate the Agito, milling a bunch of cards again, get them in there. Again, this thing is gonna get the Crime onto the hand. They're gonna bring this thing back onto the field, send a trap to the graveyard, activate that thing's effect, activate the Sulky's effect, right? Sulky is gonna allow them to get a Sharon. Then they're gonna send down a Merly to the graveyard, activating that thing's effect. And here I do have a Shuffler in my graveyard, but I decided to let them cook because I'm like, I don't know exactly at what point in time I wanted to stop everything, but I did have a Solemn Judgment in my back pocket. So I'm like, okay, let me see what's gonna happen. Let me let them cook. They're gonna bring a Rukalos onto the field, right? Then they're gonna activate their Sharon, and then they're gonna mill about 3 more cards, right? Send them in there. They're gonna activate the Meta Noise, bringing this thing back onto the hand, the Rhino Heart. But they activated both of its effects again. They're gonna activate the Deer Shroom, getting rid of my Lady Labrynth. So here I decided to activate this thing's effect because I need to have interaction at this point in time. I can't let them cook too much. And also, I was going to special summon a monster and I didn't want it to get stopped by this thing. So I'm like, okay, bet. I could have done this earlier to bring the Lady Labrynth back onto the field, but this thing would have negated it anyway. So this is good that I did it now. I'm gonna activate my field spell, activating the effect of my Ariana, right? That's gonna also trigger my Torby, and it's also going to trigger my Chandelier. They're gonna activate their Keldo, so all of these 3 effects that I triggered, basically they're not triggered, bro. Get them out of here. I'm like, okay, bet, congratulations. Yo, I hate these Shih Tzu cards. I'm playing them, but I hate them. So here I'm gonna draw into a trap, so I get to set it down by the effect of the Ariana. Then I'm gonna special summon the other Ariana, right? I needed a body on the field. Then we both for these monsters to go into the Sprite Elf, and I'm like, nah, you're not gonna start elfing on my watch. Solemn Judgment that thing. Take my life points, but get rid of that thing. I don't care. I need it gone. They're gonna activate the Dish Room, sending the Ariana back into the graveyard, right? They're gonna activate the Super Polymerization. And we both for these monsters, they're going to fusion summon into the Kick Kalos. I'm like, okay, bet. Congratulations. They're gonna activate that thing's effect, which basically says card from your deck or either an hand and send it to the graveyard. Basically, they're gonna send a card to the graveyard, right? So they're gonna activate the Sharon. And here I activated my Mudara, basically milling that thing so they don't get to actually fusion into anything. And I don't know exactly why, but they decided to scoop. I guess I low-key understand it, but not really. I mean, they basically milled all of their Tier Limits cards, bro. They're all in the graveyard. So I don't think they could have really done much in a sense, but I think they could have had a good follow-up for next turn. So I don't know exactly why they decided to scoop, but they did scoop. So with that being said, let's go into the next replay. Alright, familia, here we are for the numero 3 replay of the today. And this one is the 9-turn mirror match, and I did make about 2 misplays, I think it was. It might have only been 1, but it might have been 2. But we are going first, I believe. Yes, sir. And we are going to start off by setting down a trap. We don't really have anything else. We have a Sullen Judgment, a Big Welcome, and a Welcome Labrynth, right? Then I'm going to activate the Max C immediately. Then I'm going to activate my lovely Labrynth on top of that. They're going to Max C that thing, which was crazy to me because I was like, you didn't Ash Blossom the Max C, which made me feel like I was free real estate to do this thing. But then this is when I realized, I'm like, you have to be playing a trap deck, because otherwise you wouldn't have done that. But this is gonna force me to activate my Big Welcome, which is going to trigger my Lady Labrynth as well, and then they activate their own Maxi. I'm like, oh my goodness, bro, this guy is really playing Yu-Gi-Oh for real, right? So I special summon that thing that's gonna get them a card. I'm gonna bring this thing onto the field, the lovely Labrynth, which I'm gonna bring back the Lady Labrynth. And this is the way I thought about it was, bro, listen, you drew 2 cards, but I get to pop 1 at least. So I'm going to activate that thing's effect, pop a card in the hand. I pop the Deershroom, right? So here they're going to set down 4 back row, activating their field spell. And I'm like, not Sullen Judgment that thing. I am judging you, bro. Because why you doing that? Get it out of here. I don't want to see it, bro. That thing in a mirror match is a huge advantage. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, bro. Get that thing out of here. I don't want to see it. And since they did set down 4 traps, and I don't see any other card in their hand, which would be the Ku Clock, and they will also need a Labyrinth monster on the field, I don't feel threatened that much by this back row right now, right? So that's why I did it that way. So here we're going to turn it into our turn. We're going to join to an Ash Blossom. I put this thing in attack position, activate its effects so I can get the Welcome Labyrinth back onto the field. They're going to activate the Trap Tricks, which I think is crazy in this deck, because if you're going to set down 4 traps, and this is the trap that you're going to activate, you basically shut down your other traps. But either way, because they did that, I activate my Lady Labrynth, right? Bring my lady out here. They're going to activate that thing's effect, setting down a Big Welcome. And then I'm going to bring the Welcome Labyrinth back onto the field. They're going to activate the Big Welcome. That's going to trigger my Lady Labrynth so I can set down a trap, right? So here I'm going to set down the Eradicator. This thing is going to let them special summon their own Lady Labrynth, right? Which they're going to bring back into the hand. And then they're going to special summon back onto the field in defense position. That's going to trigger my Big Welcome. And I decided to bring this thing back to my hand, right? Because then by doing that, it's going to allow me to pop a card on the field or in the hand. They don't have a card in the hand. So I go for the field. Now here, listen, bro. This is where I made my mistake. I decided to go for the Lady Labrynth. And I know it says it can be destroyed by card effects, but it was letting me target it, and I couldn't understand why. and it's because I don't have my glasses, so I couldn't see the bigger picture. AKA, this thing is non-targeting. I low-key forgot it was non-targeting. I was just curious, so I decided to go for the lady, and it's my bad. I should have just popped the back row, right? So that thing, basically nothing happens to it. It's their turn. I'm going to activate the Eradicator, sending the lovely Labrynth to the graveyard, which is going to trigger my Lady Labrynth to special summon onto the field, right? Bring it out here. Now every trap that they have on the field gets destroyed, and every trap that they draw into gets destroyed. Here they're going to activate the Waken of the Dragon, and I don't know what type of extra deck monster they're bringing out onto the field. I'm not curious enough to find out, so activate my Ash Blossom and spring on my side of the field at the pedals. That thing gets bodied and negated. Get it out of my face. They're gonna turn this thing, and I'm gonna activate my Welcome Labrynth, which is gonna trigger their Labrynth, but I'm okay with that. They're also gonna trigger the Welcome Labrynth in the graveyard so they can send this thing back to the hand, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that, honestly speaking. So they're gonna set down their own big Welcome Labrynth. This thing's gonna come back onto the field, so I special summon my own Lady Labrynth from the deck, and now it's Lady Labrynth on Lady Labrynth violence, right? So my thing here was, I'm like, okay, I don't think you want to crash, because I would have just left this thing on the field. You have a trap, so you basically have an up one on me, but they decided to crash, bro, and I'm like, oh, well, that's suspicious, but I'm okay with it. So my Eradicator still pops up. That thing gets to stay in the back row because it's set, right? So I'm like, okay, bet, no worries. We draw into the Maxi. I end my turn. They're going to activate the big Welcome, which is going to trigger my Lady Labrynth. I'm like, okay, I'm going to activate my Maxi because they are going to special summon a monster, right? So I need as many cards as I can get. Bring this thing onto the field. Bring your own thing onto the field. Send that thing back into your hand. I draw into a Pot of Extravagance. Then they get to special summon that thing onto the field. So I drew 2 cards off of it, which I was happy about. They draw an Infinite Impermanence. That thing's going to get batted by the Eradicator. Then they're going to put this thing in attack position. They're going to destroy that thing. And then they're going to slap me with the Chandelier. I'm like, okay, bet. I understand. So here I'm like, okay, let's go. I draw into Ariana, but I got to activate my Pot of Extravagance first, showing my opponent that we are extravagant. And I draw into a Welcome Labrynth and a big Welcome. I'm just better, bro. I'm just better. I don't know what to tell you. So I activate my Ariana, getting myself a Cool Clock, setting down my 3 traps. I'm going to destroy the Chandelier. And here I thought about it thoroughly. I could have activated this stuff, but then I was like, honestly speaking, bro, let me not. Because I could have activated this, which would allow me to activate any one of these, but that would have allowed them to set down a trap. But if I don't activate anything at this point in time, they don't have a trap, this thing is targetable. That's what I was thinking. So I'm like, let me wait it out instead of doing it that way, right? So it's their turn. They're going to join to a Maxi, right? I'm like, okay, congratulations. So here going to the battle phase, I'm going to activate my Welcome Labrynth. They're going to activate their Maxi. Maxi is going to resoak because I don't have anything for it. So I'm going to bring another Ariana onto the field. That's going to get them a Welcome Dragon, but Eradicator is going to take care of that. That's why I wasn't really caring much for the Maxi, because I'm like, you're playing a trap deck. Draw whatever you want. So here I get a Chandelier onto the hand. Activate the Chandelier, sending the clock to the graveyard so I can set down my field spell. They're going to slap my Ariana in the face, and they don't have anything else. So here my Eradicator reaches his 3rd turn. I'm like, okay, yay. I draw into another Pot of Extravagance. I activate that thing, banish everything so I could draw 2. I draw into the Lord of Heavenly Prison. I activate that thing's effect. Then I'm going to activate my field spell, right? I'm going to put this thing in attack position. Normal summon this so I can get myself a clock. I'm going to activate the big Welcome. They're going to activate their own big Welcome. And they decided to go for my field spell, which I'm like, okay, I guess. With the big Welcome, I'm going to bring the lovely Labrynth back onto the field. And then this thing gets to come back into my hand. And because they don't have any traps in their back row or anything, that thing gets bodied right here, right now by this thing's effect. And they decided that it was over. It was GG's. I could have set down my field spell again. I do have a trap. I have the Lord of Heavenly Prison. Whatever they drew into, it wouldn't have mattered, bro. It was my game. This game was crazy. I was having a crap ton of fun. So with that being said, let me see if we have more replays for you. If not, then let's just go into the deck list, right? Again, here we are for the 4th replay of the day. Now, I wanted to show you this one to show you the craziness that people are doing on ladder. Because this deck, whatever I just saw, bro, is ridiculous, all right? I don't even know what to think of it. So again, we are going first. So I'm going to set down my 3 traps, right, and end my turn. Here, our opponent is going to activate their... Oh, yeah, it's against tier limits again. They're going to activate the Foolish Burials, and I'm going to Ash Blast on that thing because, get it out of here, bro. No traps in your graveyard. I don't need that. So then they're going to normal summon a Necrophase. Yes, bro, a Necrophase. Yes, bro. Like, I activate my Welcome Labrynth because I'm trying to welcome my opponent into this L, right? Special summoning the lovely Labrynth. I'm gonna special summon. I'm gonna use the big welcome to special summon my Ariana, right? That way I could bring it back into my deck and I get to pop a card on the field or in the hand. Now here, I didn't want to pop this thing because I felt like I was giving them resources. I didn't really care about this thing, so I decided to pop a card in the hand, right? So we ended up popping a King of the Swamp. Then I'm going to activate my Chandelier before they slap me in the face, setting down a big welcome once again. They're going to slap themselves onto the face, putting that thing in there. Then they're going to activate the Bestial Magna Hut. And then they're going to banish this thing. They're going to activate Necrophase effect, banishing 5 cards. Which they've banished another Necrophase. So they've banished 5 more cards. And I'm like, what are you doing, bro? This is a tier limits deck. So they basically banished all of these tier limit cards. And I'm like, what is happening, bro? But they did banish a bunch of my cards too that are important to me as well. So I'm like, okay, bet, because tier limits can make plays out of like 2 monsters, so it didn't really matter to them, I'm assuming. So they bring it back to my turn, and I'm like, okay, bet, let's go. I get a Toby. I'm gonna activate my lovely Labrynth, selling down the Welcome Labrynth, activating the big welcome. Then they're gonna activate the Branded Beast, getting rid of the Magna Hut. And then they're gonna pop my lovely Labrynth. And I'm like, well, dang, okay. That messes with my plan because I was trying to pop a card on the field. So I bring the lady onto my hand. That's gonna trigger the Chandelier. And then I can special summon the lady back onto the field because I did activate a trap, right? But unfortunately, it's only in defense position. I'm gonna bring the Chandelier to the hand. I'm gonna normal the Chandelier. And then I'm going to link off into the Muckraker from the Underworld. This card is amazing. Activate that thing's effect, send the Torby to the graveyard, and bring my lovely Labrynth back onto the field because she's lovely, bro. And now I get to slap you in the face again, and that's all I have. I have my 2 traps in the back row, and they basically have to draw into something, right? So here they draw into a card, they don't do anything with that, and I'm like, okay, yay, free real estate, we're good, we're valid. So here I'm gonna get a Kelda, go into the battle phase on the end of the turn. They're gonna activate Beast of Drishram, so they're gonna banish my lady. And I'm like, okay, so then I'm gonna activate my big welcome, right? Then I'm gonna activate the Welcome Labrynth. With the Welcome Labrynth, I'm gonna bring my other lady onto the field. This thing I'm gonna send the Branded Beast back into the hand because they could have activated this thing, pop a card, and then get rid of a card. So I was thinking ahead, right? So I'm like, now I'm gonna activate my different dimension ground, which is gonna trigger my lady again, so I can set down a trap, which makes it protected. But at this point, it didn't really matter because I have enough damage to attack over this thing. And now that I attack over, instead of going to the graveyard, it gets banished, so I don't have to worry about it. And then it's free real estate for me to slap him in the face. Buenos tardes. GG's, brother. I don't know what craziness that deck is. I don't even want to see it anymore. I'm gonna show you one quick little small replay just so you can see some craziness that I did as well. Let's get into that. Alright, again, here we are for the final replay. This is really tiny, like it's probably a few seconds long. I just want to show you the craziness that happened in this duel because I think it was just crazy. So basically, how do we start this? Yeah, I normal summon my Ariana, right? They're gonna infinite impermanence that thing. I'm like, okay, bet, congratulations, I'm fine with that. That thing gets bodied and negated. Let me speed this up. We're gonna set down 3 traps and end our turn, right? So here our opponent draws into a card. I activate my big welcome, bringing the lovely Labrynth onto the field. Again, if you guys know, bring the Ariana back to the hand. I get to pop a card on the field, right? So here they activate Forbidden Droplet. They're gonna send down one of the other spells to the graveyard to negate this thing. So I activate my Eradicator, basically dodging the Forbidden Droplet, getting rid of this card. Now I get to destroy all of your spells, right? And then I still get to pop a card in your hand with the lovely Labrynth. They left them with 1 card, bro. That was so crazy to me. This deck is ridiculous, bro. Alright, now let's go into the deck list. Alright, familia, here we are for the deck list portion of the video. Now I am playing 3 Lady Labrynth Kuklok. Now listen, you could definitely play this at 2. The reason I'm playing it at 3 is because I'm a cracky, bro. I like playing on my opponent's turn. I'm a Gotti player. It reminds me of playing Gotti, so I play 3 because it's crazy. But you could definitely bump that down to 2. I'm just playing it at 3. 3 Maxis because Maxi is stupid in this deck. You don't special summon a lot, so you don't really care about Max Seal that much. But when you get to Max C people and you get to play on their turn, bro. So it's crazy. It's honestly crazy. So you gotta run this at 3. I am running 3 Torbis again because you get to play on your opponent's turn. This thing and this thing and this thing, they're just cracked, bro. These cards together are just super saucy. Then I am running 2 Ash Blossoms. I should definitely bump that up to 3. I honestly didn't realize I had it at 2, but yeah, you could definitely bump that up to 3. I was doing okay with it at 2, as you guys can see. So then Labrynth Chandelier, I'm running it at 2. If you want to run that at 3, the same as the Torby, and bring this down to 2, then you can. Some people play this at 1 as well. I honestly really like it at 3, bro. It lets me play a lot of times in my opponent's turn, even if I'm going second. So then Ariana, you gotta have 3 of these. She's basically your starter. She's your normal monster that you're gonna start popping up with. We are running 2 of the shufflers, and the reason why is because Tier Limits is still out here, and you guys saw it will help you against Tier Limits. Also, it helps you recycle some of your cards, some of your traps that you might need back into your deck, right? So that's why we run it at 2 over here. Well, they limited to 1, so you can only do that, right? So lovely Labrynth at 1. Yeah, I was contemplating running her at 2 because Bistro cards will destroy that thing. They will banish it, and you don't have any way of bringing it back. But honestly speaking, it's fine at 1. Then we are running 2 Lady Labrynth. You don't need more than 2, honestly speaking. If it does get banished by a bestial card, you have the other one in the back pocket as well. I am running Lord of Heavenly Prison, and this is the reason why, bro. If you have Lord of Heavenly Prison, right, and you have your Lady Labrynth on the field, and you have a set trap, this thing basically becomes immune to everything besides being attacked over. Because if they can't, one of the reasons why people didn't care is because they'll pop the back row that you have. If you don't have too much back row, let's say you only have 1, they'll pop that thing, and now this thing is vulnerable, right? But because this thing is on the field, I mean, it's on your hand and it's activated, basically this thing is super just protected by everything. Unless you activate that trap, then yeah, it's like, you know. But at that point in time, it's strategy. It's up to you. But you could definitely take it out. I just wanted to have fun and use it because I think it's great. So then part of Extravagance, you run that thing at 3 because you don't care about your extra. The only card that I really care for is this one. Then 1 Labrynth, your field spell. You don't need more than 1 if you want to run it at 2 just because you want to run it at 2. Maybe you want to see it, then do that. I'm fine with it at 1. Then I am running 2 compulsory evacuation devices. Again, you could bring this down to 1 and fix the ratio of this thing right here. Again, I'm giving you the choices that you can have. This is the way that I like playing the deck. So if you want to get rid of one of these, then get rid of one of these, and then, you know, add whatever you want. Add the other Ash Blossom, add another one of these if you like. Add whatever you want. Then 1 Eradicator is limited to 1. This thing is actually ridiculous. So yeah, 1 of those. 1 different dimensional ground. This thing also destroys tier limits, or it will stop them from doing things on that turn. And 1 dimensional barrier. This thing is destruction for everything that's not a link deck. It's just goodbye. It's just, no. Then 1 Ice Dragon's Prison. Because again, if you want to banish 2 cards with the same type, then you could do that. Amazing. 3 Welcome Labrynth because you have to welcome your opponent 1 time. Then if you want to be extra and give them a big welcome, you play 3 of these. Then you have a 2 Solemn Judgments. This thing actually saved me a bunch of times. I really like it in the deck. If you want to get rid of these though and put some evenly matches in there, then do that. It's all up to you. That's what I would do anyways. If I wasn't playing these 2, I would play the evenly. I would probably again get rid of this or get rid of 1 of these, put the 3 evenly. You could keep these. It's all up to you, bro. There's many ways of building this deck to your liking. So, but I like it that way. So then I am running one Gigantic Sprite, one number 1 Baguska, one Divine Arsenal Jesus, one Link Karibo, one IP Masquerena, one Elf, one Sprite Sprint, 3 Mug Breakers from the Underworld. This is the only card that I care for. It's a level 2, so you can bring it back onto field with this thing. That's why I'm playing Sprite stuff in the deck, which I don't really care for. Then one Nightmare Unicorn. This is also a Fiend monster, which is beneficial to you. So when you get locked into Fiend monsters, you can still special summon this thing and bounce something back. Celine, just for Celine reasons. These cards right here, honestly, I just had them in here. This is just in case I have to get rid of a big wall. And these don't matter. I will honestly get rid of these and put more Fiend monsters that are beneficial to you in there. So with that being said, that is the deck list. If you guys have any comment, questions, and concerns, please comment section below. You know I always reply. I got you guys. Also, this thing plus this thing is kind of like a combo, because you activate this thing's effect, you bring Ariana onto the field, right? You activate the Ariana, you get yourself a Ku Klux. Then you activate this thing's effect, you bring the Labrynth onto the field. Then you bring this thing back into your hand. You pop a card in your opponent's hand. So it's really good. So just remember that these two together are basically like a little combo, especially if you're going first. So with that being said, continue having a great day. I forgot to say it, we do have the shop in the link description below. So if you need real Yu-Gi-Oh cards, just go down there. I'm going to receive my cards this week and I'm going to show them off to you. So with that being said, continue having a great day and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.